Hello everyone. In the previous class I was doing this problem, so let me continue with the same. Now the question is, we have to prove matrix of relation R inverse is equal to matrix of relation whole transpose. So I have done this problem, that is writing of a matrix of relation R, in the previous class itself. Anyhow, let me explain once again. Now MR represents a matrix of a relation R. So while writing a matrix of relation R, we have to look at a given relation R. In the set A, how many elements we have? 3. That is 1, 2, 3. Write the same element here. Fine. In the set B, you have an element 1, 2, 3, 4. Write those elements here. Now, when we have a relation from 1 to 1, that is relation R, when we have a relation from 1 to 1, you have to list that as 1. If there is no relation from 1 to 1, you have to list that as 0. Now we are writing a matrix of relation R. So look at the relation R. Do we have a relation from 1 to 1? Yes, we have a relation from 1 to 1. So write that as 1. Next, do we have a relation from 1 to 2? In the relation, we don't have 1 to 2, so make that element as 0. Similarly, do we have a relation from 1 to 3? We don't have an element 1 to 3. Yes, we have. Look at the element 2, that is 1 to 3. So I have to write 1 to 3 as 1. Do we have an element 1 to 4? No, we don't have. So make that as 0. Similarly, 2, 1, we don't have, 0. 2, 2, in the relation R we don't have, so 0. 2, 3, we don't have, so 0. 2, 4, yes we have. It is third element, 2, 4. So write that element as 1. Next, 3, 1. Do we have an element 3, 1 in relation R? Yes, we have 3, 1. So make an element as 1. Next, 3, 2. Do we have 3, 2? Yes, we have. Make that as 1. 3, 3. Yes, we have 1. 3, 4. Do we have? We don't have. So make that element as 0. So this is what matrix of a relation R. Now we have obtained only a matrix of relation R. What do we need is matrix of relation transpose, right? Now you are familiar with transpose, so let me write the transpose of that. Matrix of relation R transpose. Transposing in the sense just replacing rows into columns. First row, I am changing the first row into first column. So 1, 0, 1, 0. I have written first row in terms of first row. Next, second row in second column. Again, third row in third column. Fine. This is what matrix of relation transpose is. So I have obtained RHS value. So take this equation as 1. Fine. Next, what we have to find is matrix of relation R inverse. Now, before writing a matrix of relation R inverse, let me tell you a concept of R inverse. Since you are already familiar with the relation R, if R is a relation from A to B, then R inverse is also a relation, but it is defined from set B to A. In the sense, if R is a relation from A to B, then it contains an ordered pair A, B, such that an element A belongs to the first set and element B belongs to the second set. So this is what the standard definition of relation is. Fine. If this is a relation, then R inverse is a relation from B to A. That is reverse of that. That is what the meaning, reverse of a relation. So if R is a relation from A to B, then R inverse will be a relation from B to A. Then in R inverse, the element will be of the form B, A. Fine. first element in R is A, second element is B. In R inverse, that will become inverse, that is interchanging the positions B comma A, such that first element, the element position will never become change. So this is what the definition of R inverse is. The only thing you have to keep in your mind that if in a relation, if you have an element A comma B, in R inverse you have to write that as B comma A. For example, in R, if you have an element 2 comma 3, in R inverse element will become 3 comma 2. Hope it is clear now. Now look at the problem. In relation R, I have an elements, that is ordered pair of an elements. Now what I have to write is, before writing a matrix of relation R inverse, let me write R inverse, set R inverse. R inverse will become whatever the ordered pair is there in set R, that will become reverse. So first element will be 1 comma 1, second element will be 3 comma 1, third 4 comma 2, just reversing the ordered pair. Next 1 comma 3, 3 2 I have, so it will become 2 3. Next 3 comma 3. So this is what R inverse is. But what actually we have to find is matrix of relation R inverse. Remember, the key point is that in matrix R, we have listed elements of set A in, what we say this as, column, right? And whereas in, the elements of set B as row. But in matrix of relation R inverse, element will become reverse, in the sense set A elements you have to write here. Whereas in matrix A we have written here, but in matrix R inverse we should write here. Next matrix B element we have to write here. Just a reverse of what we have done in matrix of relation. Now do the same thing again. Do we have a relation from 1 to 1 in R inverse? Since we are talking about matrix of relation R inverse, so we have to look at the relation R inverse. Do we have an element from 1 to 1? Yes, we have. So make that as 1. Next 1 to 2 we don't have, so 0. 1 to 3, yes we have, so it is 1. Again 2 to 1, do we have? We don't have, so make it as 0. 2 to 2 we don't have, 0. 2 to 3, yes we have, 1. 3 to 3, yes we have, so 3 to 1, right? Yes we have 1. 3 to 2 we don't have, 0. 3 to 3, yes we have, it is 1. Next 4 to 1, do we have 4 to 1? We don't have, so 0. 4 to 2, yes we have, make it as 1. 4 to 3 we don't have, 0. I'll repeat once again. If you have an element from 1 to 1 in R inverse, make that as 1. If you don't have an element, make that as 0. Since I have an element 1 1 in R inverse, I have written 1. Since I don't have an element 1 2 in R inverse, so I have written 0. 1 3, I have an element 1 3 in R inverse, so I have written 1. So I have done the same procedure for all the existing pairs. Fine, I have obtained MR inverse. Now we can clearly make a difference is that matrix of relation R is of order 3 cross 4. 3 rows, 4 columns, so 3 cross 4. Whereas matrix of relation R inverse is of order 4 cross 3. Right, 1 2 3 4, 4 cross 3. So here itself we can clearly draw the picture, right? M R transpose is, this is what we have, whereas M R inverse is, this is what. Let me take this as equation 2. Now compare the equations 1 and 2. You can clearly note that in both the equations 1 and 2, RHS part is same. 101 101 001 001 101 101 010 010. So RHS part is equal, so I can equate LHS of both the equations. So what I'm going to write is MR transpose will be equal to MR inverse. This is what we have to prove is. Hope it is clear for you. If you are finding difficulty with this, you may free to ask doubts. Now, the next concept is directed graphs. Directed graphs. We may call directed graphs as digraphs in general. So as the name itself indicate, directed graphs. So first of all, what do you mean by graph? A graph which is consist of a set of vertices and a set of edges. Any geometrical figure which consists of a set of vertices and set of edges is called as graph. So a graph consists of set of vertices and set of edges. So a graph which is directed is none other than directed graph. I'll give you a simple example. Let me consider a graph with 4 vertices or 5 vertices. 1, 2, or else 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can number as your wish, right? I have a graph with 5 vertices. Clearly there will be 4 edges as per the theorem. This is clearly a graph, but it is not a directed graph or digraph. Why? Because we don't have any direction for any of the edges. So this graph will become a directed graph only when you give a direction for that. No matter whatever may be the direction, there should be direction for a given graph. Then such graph is said to be directed graph or digraph in short. Once again, let me tell you the definition. A graph is said to be directed if all the edges should given a direction. Then only we say a graph is a directed graph or digraph in short. Now, in the previous class, I have discussed about a nature of a relation. Nature of relations. So what are the nature of relations? First one, either it may be reflexive. Second one, symmetric. Third one, transitive. Fourth one, antisymmetric. A new concept. Antisymmetric. So as I already told you, if it satisfies first 3 relation, we say that is equivalence relation, right? Equivalence relation. If it satisfies first condition, third condition and fourth condition, we say that as poset or partially ordered set. Now we can find these relations, nature of the relation via in 2 methods. First method is that either given a relation, we can construct a matrix and we can decide whether it is reflexive or symmetric, transitive and antisymmetric, and as you already done this in the previous class. Now the second one is, given a relation R, we are going to convert that in terms of a digraph. Now deciding the nature of a relation. Now the doubt arises is that how can we say, just by looking at a graph, whether it is reflexive or symmetric or transitive or antisymmetric? How can we decide? Now let me explain. Given a graph is said to be reflexive. Only when it has self loops for all the vertices. Self loop for all the vertices. Here the term all is important. Why? Because I'll give you simple examples. Let me consider a graph with 3 vertices, right? Self loop, you are already familiar with that, whose initial and end vertex is same. Then such a loop is called as self loop. I'm going to give a direction for that. So this is a graph with 3 vertices. Now I have given a self loop for only vertices 1 and 2. In such case, it is not a reflexive. Why? Because as I already told you, a given graph is reflexive only when there is self loop for all the vertices. Here the vertex 3 has no self loop, so it is not reflexive. So if you are going to give a self loop for vertex 3 as well, then it will become reflexive. So when you have self loop for all the vertices, since you have 3 vertices with self loop for each and every vertex, therefore this digraph is reflexive. Hope it is clear for you. Next one is symmetric. Yes, symmetric. Listen to me carefully. A graph is said to be symmetric if every arc between two different nodes. If every arc, we can say arc as edge. If every edge between two nodes is bidirected or bidirectional. Bidirected in the sense, look at the diagram. I'll give you the same example. See, I have a vertex 1 and 2. When do we say a graph is symmetric? If all the edges are bidirected. In the sense, I have a vertex 1 to 2. Let me give a direction from 1 to 2. Suppose if I have one more edge from 2 to 1. What I said is, all the edges are bidirected. Now what we have is, I have an edge from 1 to 2. Again I have an edge from 2 to 1. But we don't have an edge between 3 to 1 and 3 to 2. Something like, I have an edge from 2 to 3. I have an edge from 3 to 1. But I don't have an edge from 3 to 2. Again I don't have an edge from 1 to 3. So this is not symmetric. When do we graph become symmetric? Let me rewrite the diagram. I have an edge from 2 to 3. Again I should have bidirected edge. I have an edge from 3 to 1. Again I should have 1 to 3. Clear? Just look at the diagram. I have a vertex 1. Again I have a vertex 2. Now I have an edge from 1 to 2. Edge in the sense path. I can reach from 1 to 2. Again, without repeating the same path, I can reach from 2 to 1. Right? Now take 3 2. I can reach from 2 to 3 by using this edge. Again I can reach from 3 to 2. Now 3 and 1. I can reach from 3 to 1 using this path. Again I can reach from 1 to 3. So between two vertices we have both directed edges. Look at the picture. Opposite directions, right? See here. So if this was the case, a directed graph will become symmetric. First thing, reflexive, when all the vertices is all the vertices is self loop. Next, symmetric, all the edges is bidirected. In the sense, both the direction edges should be there. Clear? Next thing is transitive. Transitive. So what actually the standard definition of transitive says? If we have an element say A to B, then B to C, then there should be a relation from A to C. In the sense, if these two are same, then there should be an element AC. Right? The same concept will be applicable for the graph as well. Let me see how it works. First, let me tell you the basic thing. If I have an edge from 1 to 2, if I have an edge from 1 to 2, again I have an edge from 2 to 3, I have an edge from 1 to 2, again I have the same vertex 2 to 3, then there should be a path or edge between 1 to 3. Now look at the diagram. Do we have an edge from 1 to 2? See here, 1 to 2, yes I have. 1 to 2 I have. See here, 1 to 2. Do we have an edge from 2 to 3? Here, 2 to 3. Yes, I have. If this case exists, then there should be an edge from 1 to 3. Do we have an edge from 1 to 3? Yes, we have. If this is the case, then it will become transitive. Transitive digraph. Hope it is clear. Right? If I have a vertex from 1 to 2, edge from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, then there should be an edge from 1 to 3. Then that given graph become transitive graph. Next, fourth one is antisymmetric. Antisymmetric. When do we say a digraph is antisymmetric? We can say a given digraph is antisymmetric only when you just listen the statement properly. Antisymmetric meaning is that there should not, or we can say no two different nodes or vertices, I can say vertices have bidirected edges. Bidirected edges meaning is that between any two vertices, we should not have something like this. In the sense, Bidirectional in the sense both the direction. Look at the diagram. I have an edge from A to B, then I have an edge from B to A. If this is the case, we cannot say that as an antisymmetric. If this was not the case, then I can say it is antisymmetric. I'll give you a simple example. See here. Let me consider a graph. Fine. Do we have any bidirectional edge here? We don't have. Why? Because we have only one single direction edge. Suppose if I have one more edge with this direction, in such case also it is antisymmetric. Why? Because both the edges are towards the same direction, that is from 3 to 4. So it is antisymmetric. If there is at least one edge such that which is in opposite direction, that is in both the direction, like I have an edge from 3 to 4. If I have something like this, 4 to 3, then it will not become antisymmetric. Look at this diagram. I have an edge from 1 to 3. Again, 1 to 2. Again, I have from 2 to 1. So it is not antisymmetric. It is not antisymmetric. Right? So I'll recall all the concept. A digraph is said to be reflexive if all the vertices should have self-loop, then all the vertices should have self-loop, then it is reflexive. Symmetric, all the edges should be bidirectional. Transitive, if 1 to 2, same vertex should be continued. 2 to 3, then 1 to 3 should be there. Just remember this definition, more than enough. A to B, B to C, then A to C should be there. Then that is transitive. Antisymmetric, if no two edges is bidirected. In the sense, in a graph, there should not be any two edges which is having both the direction, that is opposite direction, I can say simply. Then it is called as antisymmetric. Hope these concepts are clear for you. Further, if you have any queries, you can ask, and the same notes I'll post it in a group. Please do copy to the notes. Thank you. Continue in the next session.